Today, I'm going to explain our object-oriented programming assignment. So, the very first thing you do is to import the libraries that will be used. The Java util for the array list, the Java swing to access the GUI elements. And second is to create a credit card class. So, public class credit card. And next is let's declare the variables. First is the variable type, the name. So here, let's base in what mom has given. So card name. So card name is string type. So card name is the card holder name. And card number, it is also a string type, a credit card number. And public double, the credit limit, it is a double type, credit limit amount of the card, and a monthly interest. Also a double type, it is a monthly interest of remaining unpaid balance, and a protected string, it is the cash advance pin. This cash advance pin, it is a pin number and a protected field, and public double card balance, total credit balance, remaining unpaid amount, public string, it is a 1D array of string. Each array element is a description in string form of each purchase made consisting of the following info: store name, product purchase, date of purchase, and purchase amount is it is a double type. Array elements are the amount of purchases. So this array list variables contains the history of the purchases and the transactions of the user. So, payment description is equals to P disk, while the payment amount is equals to P AMNT. So, fourth is let's create an empty constructor. Next is create the constructor with the following parameters. Credit card with the parameter of string C name, string C number, double credit limit, double monthly interest, string C pin, string C code. And sixth is initialize the variables using the values from the constructor's parameter. So this that card name equals C name, this that card number equals C number, this that credit limit equals credit limit, this that monthly interest equals monthly interest, this cash advance pin equals C pin, and this card code equals C code. This card ball equals to 0. So next is to create a pay balance method which accepts the payment amount. Payment amount equals to double amount. So next is check if payment amount is not greater than paid balance. And if the condition is true, deduct the payment amount from the card balance. So next is add to payment description list and add to the payment amount to the payment amount list. So this will display the payment amount and the unpaid balance. If the condition is false, which means that the payment amount is greater than the unpaid balance, this error message will be displayed. So create credit purchase method with a double type parameter. So this method will add amount in card balance. So check if the unpaid balance plus the amount to be added is not greater than the credit limit of the card. If the total is less than the credit limit, add the amount to card balance. Add the transaction to the payment description list and add the purchase amount to the payment amount list. So let's display the purchase amount and the new total unpaid balance. If the total is greater than the credit limit, display error. Next is monthly bill. So let's create monthly bill method. This will compute the total amount due or card balance. First is you'll initialize the total variable with the value of 0. The total variable will contain the total of the amount due or card balance. Purchase description list, convert it to string and store it to purchase description array. Then declare a temporary array where you will temporarily store the summary of all the purchase description and the purchase amount. To calculate for the total amount due or card balance, We will make a loop that will repeat depending on the length of the purchase description array. So this line will calculate for the total amount. It will get the first value of the amount list of the P amount list and add it to the total. Then initialize the temp array. Each element will contain the combined purchase description and purchase amount. So next is calculate the card balance. We will first multiply the total amount due with the monthly interest, then add it to the total amount due. Display the total amount due with a summary each and every transaction. Display card information. Let's create a display card info method. This will display the information of the current card. And this message dialog will display the card name, the card number, the credit limit, the monthly interest, and the card balance. And cash advance. Let's create a cash advance method with a double type parameter. So, let's check if the amount is at greater than the credit limit plus the card balance. If the amount is lesser than the credit limit plus the card balance, we will add the amount to the card balance. Then we will add the cash advance transaction to the payment description list. And we will add the cash advance amount to the payment amount list. After adding it to the list, we will display the cash advance amount and the credit balance. If the amount is greater than the credit limit plus the card balance, this error message will be shown. And we're done with the credit card class. So we will create a silver credit card class that extends to the credit card class. So we have to create an empty constructor, and let's create a constructor with the following parameters: string C name, string C number, string C pin, and string C code. And then we have to initialize the variables. This that card name equals C name, this that card number equals C number, this that credit limit equals 30,000, this that monthly interest equals to 0.03, this is cash advance pin, C pin, this that card code equals C code, and this that card balance equals to 0. And next, we also have to create a gold credit card class that extends to the credit card class. Let's create an empty constructor and create the constructor with the following parameters, just like the silver credit card. So string C name, string C number, string C pin, and string C code. So let's initialize the variables again. That card name equals C name, this that card number equals C number, this that credit limit equals to 50,000, and this that monthly interest equals to 0.0325, this is that cash advance pin equals C pin, this is card code equals C code, and this that card balance equals to 0. So next is the last thing we have to do is to create a Java class bank credits. So first is to import the libraries that will be used. Import Java Swing for GUI elements. And for the file handling is import java.io.filewriter, import java.io.bufferedreader, import java.io.filereader, and import java.io.io exception. So next is to create a bank credit card class with the main method. So we'll declare silver credit card as an array, and we will declare gold credit card as an array. Next is to initialize pin valid. Pin valid has a boolean type with a value of false. And then we have to initialize temp silver array. And we also have to initialize temp gold array, and we will create a while loop with a parameter of true, so it will only stop if we will break the loop. Then we have to initialize main choice. The value will depend on what user will input. 1 for create new credit card, 2 for card transactions, 3 for get PIN number, and 4 to load records, and 5 is to exit the program. So main choice 1 is to create a new credit card. So if the main choice is equals to 1, here we will create a new credit card depending on the information that the user will input. So initialize card name. The value will be the input of the user. Next is initialize card number. The volume depends in the input. So next is check the card type. If the user enters 1 the card type, the user's card will have a silver type. Then we will check if silver card index 0 is not null. Initialize silver card index 0 using what the user has entered previously. Now we have to initialize silver card index 1 using what the user has entered also previously. And then we have to show the success message. Or else we will go here if the user selected a gold card type. We will check if gold card index 0 is not null. We have to initialize gold card 0 using what the user has entered previously. Initialize gold card index 1 using what the user has also entered previously. Then let's just show the success message. If main choice entered 2, that means the user will create a new transaction. Now we will initialize card text pin, TXP. The value will depend on the input of the user. So we will first check if there are any cards created. Next, we will check if the pin that is entered matches any pin from the card that were created. Now, if the user entered a correct pin, we will set the pin valid to true. And if there are no matches, it will show this error message. This condition will check if pin valid is true. If pin valid is true, we will let the user select what he or she will do. Sub-choice is to determine what the user wants to do. We will initialize sub-choice. We will wait for the input of the user. 1 for pay balance, 2 for credit purchase, 3 for monthly bill, and 4 for display card info. And 5 is for cash advance, and lastly, 6 is for accept card transaction. And now the pay balance. Sub-choice, if user entered 1, we will ask the user to enter the amount. And then we have to initialize pay balance. Then the value will be the entered amount of the user. So let's check which card is currently in use. If the user's card is silver, we will call the pay balance method to pay the balance. If the user's card is gold, we will call the payable method to also pay the balance. So if the user entered 2, we'll ask the user to enter the amount. Initialize pay balance. The value will be the entered amount of the user. And then we have to check which card is currently in use. If the user's card is silver, we will call the credit purchase method to purchase the credit, as well as the gold. If the user's card is gold, we will also have to call the credit purchase method to purchase credit. So if the user entered 3, and then if the user's card is silver, we'll call the monthly bill to calculate for the monthly bill. Just like the silver, the user's card, if the user's card is gold, we will also call the monthly bill to calculate for the monthly bill. So if the user entered number 4, it will check which card is currently in use. And if the user's card is silver, it will call the display card info to display card info. And if the user's card is gold, we will call the display card info to display card info. And if user entered 5, we will ask the user to enter his or her PIN. Initialize input PIN, we will store here the PIN that was entered by the user. And next, we will check which card is in user. And check if the input PIN is equals to the PIN of the current card. Next, if the user has a silver card, we'll ask the user to input the cash advance amount. Then next, we have to initialize cash advance. We will store here the cash advance amount that will be entered by the user. And then we will call the cash advance method to make a cash advance. But then if the user has a gold card, we will ask the user to input the cash advance amount. Initialize cash advance. We will store here the cash advance amount that will be entered by the user. And then, just like the silver card, we will call the cash advance method to make cash advance. But if the PIN is invalid, then we will display this error message. So if the user entered 6 or any value that is not from the choices, we will exit the card transaction port. So this error message will show if there are no cards created. If the user entered 3 from the main choice, this block of code will be executed. First, we check if there are any cards created. If there are no cards created, this error message will be shown. Else, we will let the user enter the card code. Then we will check which card has the same code the user has entered. So this message contains the card PIN of the card. This will be shown when the card code matches any code of the card. If there are no matches, this error message will be shown. If the user entered 4 from the main choices, this block of code will be executed. So we have to declare a buffered reader variable and a file reader variable. Now we're going to create a try-catch block. We will initialize file reader and buffered reader. Now this try block will read what's inside silver cards.txt and gold cards.txt. And let's display all the informations from the file. So before closing the program, this block of code will be executed. This will save the current card information to the silver cards.txt and gold card.txt. Now, let's check if there are any cards created. Now, we'll save each card information. And then, we break the loop here and exit the program.